In this section, we will discuss data massage routines on data which has already been acquired. Once we have massaged the data, we will then obtain hard copies. Before we display data and begin data massage, let's look at our data massage sequence banks. To enter that, we press function key number 21. We now have a choice of either picking banks with soft key number 1 or defining a sequence with soft key number 2. We will describe defining sequence, soft key number 2, later. Let's first pick banks and see what our options are. Pressing soft key number 1 allows us to enter the soft key bank selection menu. In the soft key bank selection menu, we have a list of valid massage operations. One of the operations that is valid is to smooth the data. We can differentiate the data. We can normalize one curve to another curve. We can ask for an atomic concentration profile from a peak-to-peak profile. We can shift the energy position of the data. We can ask for the cursor to define the energy and the number of counts in that energy region. We can ask to annotate the graph. We can redefine a profile. And we can normalize a line scan. Other massage operations include calculating the area under a curve, subtracting the baseline, integrating the curve, obtaining an atomic concentration calculation, editing the data, printing the graphics, saving massaged data, expanding the data, and normalizing the data by E. At the top of the screen, we see bank number 1 is being displayed right now. These commands, shift, expand, cursor, edit data, and so forth, correspond to our 8 soft keys. When we are manipulating data and we enter the data massage routine, bank number 1 will specify the functions for soft keys 1 through 8. By going to the next bank, or bank number 2, we will have different functions for soft keys 1 through 8. In this menu, we define which soft key performs the data massage operation. To program the soft key bank selection, we use the soft keys at the bottom of the menu. Soft key number 1 allows us to go to the next bank. Soft key number 2 will take us to the previous bank. Soft key number 3 will allow us to add a bank. Soft key number 4 will allow us to delete a bank. Soft key number 5 allows us to toggle to the next soft key at the top of the screen as we are setting up our banks. Soft key number 6 will toggle us to the previous soft key in the bank selection. Soft key number 7 will allow us to change that soft key. And soft key number 8 will allow us to exit this menu. Let me demonstrate how to set up a bank. This is bank number 1, as we have discussed. To go to the next bank, we press soft key number 1. We now display the functions that are available utilizing bank number 2. Going to the next bank, pressing soft key number 1 takes us to bank number 3 and all of the functions which we can perform using that bank. Pressing next bank one more time takes us back to bank number 1, telling me that we have 3 banks presently set up. What we would like to do is add a bank by pressing soft key number 3, and we now get bank number 4. None of the soft keys are programmed. What I can do is program these 8 soft keys with these massage functions. For example, if I normally use bank number 4 to manipulate survey scans, I would like to differentiate. I would also like to have the ability to smooth. I would like the ability to utilize the cursor. I would also like the ability to edit data, to expand data, and to use the graph annotate. To program this bank with those functions, we need to decide which function we want in soft key number 1. Let's start with differentiate. Notice right now smooth is highlighted in yellow. We can move the yellow highlight by using the arrow keys. So I will use the right arrow key to highlight differentiate. I want that in soft key number 1. We now utilize the next and previous soft keys. Those are soft keys at the bottom of the screen, soft keys 5 and 6. If I choose next soft key, that toggles the yellow highlight to the second soft key in bank number 4. We would like differentiate in the first soft key, so I will press previous soft key, which again at the bottom of the terminal is soft key number 6. We now have differentiate highlighted. We also have soft key number 1 highlighted. We are now ready to change that soft key. That function is accomplished by, at the bottom of the screen, pressing soft key number 7, which is labeled change soft key. We now have the function to differentiate entered as the first soft key. We now want to go to the next soft key, so we press soft key number 5. We want that to be the smooth routine, so we use the arrows to highlight smooth, and we press change soft key, which is soft key number 7. Next, we would like the cursor, again using the arrows to the right, and now the down arrow to highlight cursor. We want that to be in soft key number 3. So we press next soft key, which at the bottom of the screen is soft key number 5. We now have cursor highlighted, soft key number 3 highlighted. We can change soft key by pressing soft key number 7. Next, we would like to be able to edit data using the right arrow, highlighting edit data, pressing soft key number 5 for next soft key number 7 to change soft key. We would also like to expand using the right arrow key, highlighting expand, soft key number 5 for next soft key 7 changes that soft key. We would also like to annotate the graph. That we would like to consistently with every bank to be in the 8th soft key. So we will press next soft key, next soft key, next soft key. We now will enter the massage in soft key number 8. We want graph annotate, so we will use the left arrow, the down arrow, and highlight graph annotate. Press soft key number 7 to change soft key. We now have defined a bank, this being bank number 4. When we ask for data massage and we toggle to bank number 4, we will be able to differentiate, smooth, use the cursor, edit the data, expand the data, and annotate the graph. To review the banks that we already have programmed, let's go to our next bank, which is pressing soft key number 1. I have bank number 1 set up for survey scans. I want to be able to shift, expand, use the cursor, edit the data, save the massage data, and annotate the graph. The first 2 soft keys, I have defined a sequence, and we will talk about defining the sequence next. First, let's take a look at bank number 2 by going to next bank. What I have done is in bank number 2, I will manipulate profile data. I have the AC profile, profile redefine, and atomic concentration. I also want to be able to annotate the graph, utilize the cursor routine, and the expand routine. For my own convenience, I have set the expand routine to always be soft key number 4, the cursor routine to always be soft key number 5, and graph annotate always set at soft key number 8. Again, that is for my convenience. The next bank, or bank number 3, is miscellaneous massage operations. Normally, I do not determine the area on a survey scan or with profiles. I normally do not use the normalize mode to normalize a line scan, baseline, subtract, and so forth. These are what I have classified as miscellaneous operations, and I have put them in the 3rd bank. Now that we have demonstrated how to set up a bank, let's exit the soft key bank selection and describe define sequence. By pressing soft key number 2, we now enter the define sequence menu. The current massage sequences that we have defined is blank because we have none defined using this menu. Soft key number 5 allows me to add a sequence. The title is Massage Sequence Creation. We can define a massage sequence using these massage operations. The valid massage operations for the sequence creation are to be able to smooth, differentiate, baseline subtract, integrate, shift, and print graphics. These are the only massage operations which are valid for a massage sequence. By a sequence, what we mean is to be able to do multiple operations with one keystroke. For example, what I would like to create is a massage sequence where I can utilize a 9-point differentiation and a 9-point smooth with one keystroke. That is very common in massaging survey scans. Rather than first differentiating, waiting for the spectrum to display, and then smoothing and waiting for the final product, I can define that sequence with one keystroke to first differentiate and then smooth. What we have here is a split screen, the top of the screen showing the massage sequence creation, and at the bottom of the screen corresponds with the bottom of the terminal with the commands which help us now to enter the sequence. Our first instructions are to enter sequence name, upper label, from 0 to 8 characters. The upper label is referring to the top half of this label. What I would like to do first is differentiate and then smooth. So I will put in the upper label differentiate, and I would like a 9-point differentiation. So I will type capital D, small I, F, -9. When I enter that, we will see that typed into the upper label. Our command now says lower label from 0 to 8 characters. Down here I would like to smooth SMO-9, a 9-point smooth, and enter. That now enters at the bottom. We now need to select operation with arrow keys, hit select to move into sequence. Using the arrow keys, we first want to differentiate, so I will highlight differentiate using the right arrow key. I can now select, which is using soft key number 1, and that now moves my differentiate, the first in the line of sequence commands. Our next response from the computer is continue selecting operations, hit done when sequence is complete. Next, I would like to smooth, so using the arrow keys I will highlight smooth and press soft key number 1 to select. All I wanted was to differentiate and smooth, so I am now finished with the sequence, and I can strike soft key number 8, which is done. We now want to edit the parameters using soft key number 2. Again, we want a 9-point differentiation and a 9-point smooth. We need to edit those parameters, pressing soft key number 2. The message is select massage with arrow keys, hit params to display parameters. Differentiate is now highlighted. We can monitor the parameters for differentiate by pressing soft key number 1. This tells us that the endpoint differentiate is set at 9, which is where we want it to be set. We can now exit using soft key number 8. Once again, we want to now edit the parameters for smooth, pressing soft key number 2, using the right arrow to highlight smooth, and pressing soft key number 1 to list the parameters. We see also that smooth is set at 9, which is where we want it to be set, so we can now exit using soft key number 8. We have now defined a sequence. With one keystroke, we will be able to differentiate 9 points and smooth 9 points. Let's define one more sequence. What I would also like to utilize is to differentiate using a 5-point differentiation and smooth using a 5-point smooth. Pressing soft key number 5 allows us to add a sequence. Once again, we are told to enter sequence name, upper label, and once again we want to differentiate DIF-5 this time. Enter. The lower label is smooth, SMO-5. Select operation with arrow keys. We first want to differentiate, so we will move the right arrow to differentiate. Press soft key number 1 to select, and then highlight smooth. Press soft key number 1 to select. We are now done with defining what we want to do with this massage sequence, so we can press soft key number 8. And we now want to edit the parameters, soft key number 2. I will use the down arrow to highlight the diff5 differentiate. Pressing soft key number 1 allows me to monitor the parameters. They are now set at 9. We would like to change that to 5 and enter. We can now exit. Once again, edit parameters, soft key number 2. We would like to highlight smooth 5 using the down arrow and the right arrow, highlighting smooth, pressing soft key number 1, and setting that to 5. Enter. We can now once again press soft key number 8 to exit. And we now have 2 new massage sequences, a diff9 smooth 9 and a diff5 smooth 5. We can now exit the define massage sequence menu by pressing soft key number 8. What I would like to do now is go back into our pick banks, pressing soft key number 1. Notice our massage operations. We have now added 2 new massage operations being defined as diff9 smooth 9 and diff5 smooth 5. What I would like to do is enter them into bank number 1. We are currently on bank number 3. I can go to next bank by pressing soft key number 1. That is bank number 4. I can go to next bank by pressing soft key number 1 again, and that takes us back to bank number 1. I would like soft key 1 to be diff9 smooth 9 and soft key 2 to be diff5 smooth 5. Using the arrows, I can highlight diff9 smooth 9. I have soft key number 1 highlighted, so I can change soft key by pressing soft key number 7. Using the right arrow, I can highlight diff5 smooth 5. Using next soft key, which is soft key number 5, we now highlight the second soft key in bank 1 and pressing soft key number 7, I can change that soft key to diff 5, smooth 5. We now have banks 1, 2, 3, and 4 defined as we want them for data massage. We can now manipulate data using the data massage routines which we have just defined. We can now exit the soft key bank selection menu by pressing soft key number 8.